Where I'm at now, well, 3 years later, and lots of therapy and lots of talking and crying and yelling and screaming and saying shit doesn't work, shit works. And I'm at a very good place right now. I was just thinking about you earlier this week because, still trekking, each day is a different day. You still have to deal with life. You still have to deal with crap. And I got so frustrated the other day, and I was just like, what would Robin say?
Get your bracelets right over here.
Yeah.
And get your knife.
And so, and for me, that's a good thing because it kind of recalibrates me and say, I have this internal dialogue of, I know what I want to do. I used to be very quick to anger. I was very quick to just shut you down and I didn't want to hear it. The typical Puerto Rican woman. Okay. But I've learned now to just listen to my wife. And, we're not perfect, but because of coming here, because of staying consistent, because I didn't give up, because I still don't want to give up, even when it gets to the point where I just want to throw my hands up and say, fuck it. I don't, because I am responsible for me first and then the people around me. So I don't want to die. I don't want to kill myself. I don't want to do any of those things. What I want is to be able to breathe normally. I want to be able to say, I've got this and the world is not going to fall apart. It's not my fault. It's okay to feel shameful, but I don't have to be ashamed. You know what I mean?
I like that.
And so,
yes, I do.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel shameful, but I don't have to be ashamed.
exactly.
I love that.
And so,
Because feelings change.
they absolutely did. And I'll tell you, it took me, almost 2 years for me to tell you that I was a survivor and not a victim. Because I went in as a victim very much. And I called myself that. And she didn't prompt me. She didn't say, I just came in one day. At the very end, I said, you know what? I'm a fucking survivor.
Yeah. And you know what? You being a survivor, and I think a lot of people can resonate with this, is that you're as tough when I see people that are as tough and like direct and I don't give a shit attitude, there it is the people that have probably the most underlying hard shit that's how you had to cope.
Oh,
all
absolutely.
your life. So you became that strong person that you really needed in your life. You became the strong woman that you needed in your life, really, and needed. That was your survival. So when I see people as like strong and hardcore and like you, I'm like, she has history there. Like there's history. There's a reason why. And not that it's a bad thing because it's who you are. And now you're even more adaptable when shit goes south, right? Because life is going to continue to throw shit at you. It may not be the same that it did when you were a child or a teenager, but there's still going to be things that you're going to have to deal with. And now like, okay, I got past that 20 years ago. I'm going to get past this now.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have been able to do that, because I thought most of us think, well, I can figure it out or I'll figure it out, especially if you're an older person. You just like, I don't want to really burden anybody. I don't want to, but I've learned to ask for help. That's one of those things. And me being here was the huge one for me. And it said one of the questions was, what is one of the things that would be probably you guys wouldn't believe? I'm an extremely shy person.
Very shy.
Extremely introvert. Like this right here is because I feel safe around you guys. And when I know it may benefit someone, then all that shyness is out the fucking door. But the moment I leave here, I'm like,
yeah.
But
I get that. I can relate because, like I said, even though I'm like doing what I do and I have to talk to people all the time and network and do all that, I prefer to be sitting on my couch and nobody talking to me. Like that's really my life. And you can ask my husband. My husband is the most like. And he'll talk to anybody anywhere. The grocery store, he knows people everywhere. And guess what? I'm like, do you ever shut up?
Nope.
That's like, don't do that around me because I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to know who that person is. I don't care about their name. Don't tell me.
I'm extroverted.
See? And
you are? Yes.
See?
Oh my God, I will talk to a fly as long as it talks back.
Yeah, see, that's my husband too.
See, and it's funny because everybody thinks I am. But that's why I said, like,
we're very similar because, and that's a lot of the neurodivergent. That's a lot of the ADHD. As long as we have a purpose,
Then I don't,
all day, because to me, it's a purpose and I love giving. But if you just want me to small talk,
I don't have to have a purpose.
She just,
I don't. I'm being real. I don't have to have a purpose. I'll make a purpose.
Brandon,
I will
yes.
make a purpose.
Yep.
Yeah.
She does. Like, and it's funny
Yeah.
because, and I told her, so I said, she always says, "Oh, Robin brings it out of me." I said, "No.
No, you
Hold
bring
on.
out the not good stuff.
No, but she,
Yeah.
I mean, well, say less.
I'm always in the timeout corner with you.
No, it's just because I'm taller. No, but it's just funny because it really is. It's like,
I love it.
You know.
But it's true. Like as soon as I even like met you, and I'm big on like reading energy and discernment and stuff, and I'm like, that woman's got a history. Like you could just tell you come from just a lot of shit. Not all bad, obviously, but you come through
You
shit.
can talk to me like that. I can understand that
Yeah,
talk.
but
Listen,
it's like-
PG-13 today, y'all.
I
We
mean,
can-
and the reason why you have that hard exterior is because that's who you've had to be in order to survive. And I'm glad that Robin has been able to kind of break that down, and that you have a good support system like your wife has been able to help
My
you. Because
family, yep.
that's what I'm saying. Like you had to, and I think that's big to like for other people to like listen to. Like
that in itself, because of the brokenness, if I didn't have that support, I wouldn't. Nothing negative against Dr. McCormick, but I only had her for an hour.
Right.
So what happens to the other 23 hours? If you don't have that support at home, then everything you work on, you can't put into use. Or if you have somebody who's negative or who's just, that shit doesn't work, it does work. And don't listen to people that's telling you it doesn't work, because that is just a stigma. It really is. And I was the one that used to say, I'm going to go to talk to somebody about my problems. Hell no. But the moment I trusted someone and they weren't there to hurt me in any way or take my information and use it against me somehow, because that's how I thought, right? And so when you find that comfort, you need to covet that and harness it, because you don't get that a lot in this world. People who really give a shit, people like you guys who give a shit, like really give a shit. And as a patient who really wants to work on things, we can read energy, we can feel it. You know, I know when somebody wants to work with me, you know, she cried with me, she laughed with me, she did all those things with me. And that shows me like, fuck, she gives a fuck and she understands me. I didn't have to say hardly anything in sessions sometimes. And she knew. I was like, I'm not going to tell her she knows, because I don't need her to be like, you're welcome.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
It's one of her favorite lines.
that is.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
I'm like, I didn't even say
did.
thank you. Hello.
You're
No,
welcome.
thank you.
But that's what I'm saying. It really was. And I think even when you say that is where the therapist and even on a business side, and, you know, we've been grinding. Like there's always something. We're all just like, Lord, you know, enough of the labor pains already. Show me the baby, you know, because, and that is such a blessing, I think, to us. And why even when, you know, and I was telling Ellen and TJ, I said, you know, as soon as like we started talking about the podcast or anything, and, you know, she was like, sign me up. What is it? Where are we going? What's happening? Like, you know, y'all deserve it. And even if we just look at females, you know, strong females, you know, I say iron sharpens iron.
Absolutely.
And, you know, it does really take, I think, somebody, you know, I always say when you are living that authentic life, you know, that being a person of excellence, doing the extra mile, not because of any monetary, it's never about you. It's always about somebody else, you know, and that creates that space for people to be vulnerable with
Absolutely.
you know, and then that's the connections. And then that's the, you know, and I remember, you know, when you came the first time when you said, I was able to stand up for myself and it was okay no matter how anybody else responded. And I was like, girl, you need to say less. I mean, because that's really, I think, the biggest thing, especially is that when we don't know how to navigate or really what we're feeling or why we're feeling it, or are we allowed to feel it? How in the world are we supposed to communicate that to somebody? And the last thing we want to do is hurt our loved ones, but we're hurting so bad, you know, and then when we finally go, weakness is not wickedness. Like, but they don't know either,
Well, because hurt people hurt people.